Alright, YouTubers, I thought I had a couple questions, so I thought shooting a video and maybe talking about this a little bit would be a better way to answer some of these questions. Question one was, what is my dragon's diet and like feeding times and stuff like that? I mean, you got to think of where bearded dragons come from, first of all. You'll know it's going to be repetitive. It's from Australia, you know, and this specific species, Pogona Vitticeps, comes from the inlands. Okay, that's one thing to keep in mind too. So there's probably not an abundance of food running around waiting to be eaten by these guys, you know. So they're not very picky eaters. So that means they will probably eat almost anything you put in front of their face. However, you need to figure out what's, you know, appropriate and what's going to benefit both you and the dragon. And when I say benefit you, I mean you're not going to be able to go, if you live in Canada, you're not going to be able to go and get locusts and roaches because the guy on YouTube said that's a good idea. Here you're going to get crickets and worms, you know, and that's just as good as what he's given them over there in the UK. Other things you may not be able to find in your grocery store would be like bok choy or collard greens, depending on where you live. If you're from the States, you're definitely going to have collard greens at your local, you know, grocery store or market. You can pick up a bundle for fairly cheap, maybe less than $1 a pound, and bring it home, chop it up, sprinkle a little bit of calcium powder on it one day, don't sprinkle on the next day, and watch them eat it, and they'll love it. Fill up a dish like what I have in the middle, or even just a plate, put it down and let them eat it. If that doesn't work, wiggle it in front of their faces, you know, get them on the greens. Trust me, the greens is a good thing. The other thing was, the guy said worms he was told not to feed worms. I've fed mine worms since they were babies. Right from the get-go, they were onto the mealworms, and then I went to waxworms, and the waxworms was more of a treat because, you know, they're fatty, higher protein, higher crude fat, so you want to ration that out a little bit. I know sometimes I get these videos going and I get rambling on and try to sound too professional. But what I generally do is I mix it up. That's what I can say to anyone who wants to make sure their dragon has a good, healthy diet. Just like you don't want to have, you know, I mean, craft dinner is good, guys, but I mean, you can't eat it every day to have a full and healthy lifestyle. So that's what I'm saying is crickets are good to feed them, but they can't, you know what I mean, they need more than just crickets. They need a little bit of green, a little bit of fruit, some worms, you know. Maybe when they get bigger you can throw in a pinky mice or in a knoll. I know some people have big problems with people feeding bearded dragons and knolls, but they do like them. You got to remember though, when you're feeding those knolls, try to make sure that your dragon gets it by the head, because they will bite. People don't like feeding mice either because they think that's cruel, but if your dragon's big enough, it will eat a small pinky mouse, and it is good for it, but not to give it every day. You know, that would be like you eating a 4-liter container of ice cream every day for the 20 years, you know what I mean? That would definitely not be good for you. So it's a treat, you know. You treat the dragon just like you would treat yourself, you know. You had a steak tonight, okay, you think you had a good dinner, you should make sure they get a good dinner. Give them a couple crickets, maybe 1 or 2 worms, and then load up the dish full of greens. I really, really stress the greens because enough people, they say, you know, it's just so much fun to watch them eat live food. Yeah, that's great, but, you know, they got to have a little bit of everything. That's like, you know, I know there's vegetarians that survive fine from eating just vegetables and stuff, but could you imagine what it would do to someone's body if they only ate meat? So keep that in mind, you know. Mix it up. That's the best thing to do. And the other thing, I know everyone's probably yelling, what are you talking about? You haven't mentioned this yet, but mix it up with calcium as well. When you dust your crickets, don't dust them every single day. Dust them today, and then the next time you feed them, don't dust them. Dust them again the next day. You know what I'm saying? Mix it up, guys, because you don't want to overdo it, and you want to make sure that they're getting a variety. And that's the biggest thing I can stress to anyone who has questions about diet. These guys, unfortunately, are spoiled rotten, so that's why they're as chunky as they are. If you guys have any other questions or comments, get at me. Leave me some video responses. I want to see your dragons. I want to see, you know, maybe some feeding videos. Whatever you guys got, bring it at me. And ask me some questions. I'll try to get back at everyone that I can. Sometimes I can't always get to you, but I will make an effort. So, I don't know, just in general, keep it mixed up. I mean, there's so much out there that you can read too. I mean, go online, find all kinds of websites and little care sheets on bearded dragon diets. I mean, and you'll see the lists of fruits and vegetables that they can eat is amazing. So go through it, find out. If you don't know what they are, you know, don't be afraid. Go into your supermarket, talk to the guy there, say, hey, listen, I need this, this, and this. Do you have it? No? Okay. Do you know where possibly I might be able to get it? You know, maybe even your mother or your grandmother might know what it is you're talking about. I mean, to be honest, I had no idea what red Swiss chard was until I got into bearded dragons. I knew what collard greens were. You know, I've heard of the collard greens, but bok choy and things like that, no idea. So you go to the store, pick it up, get it. I mean, fruits too. You know, you get away with figs, bananas. You know, all kinds of stuff, guys. Grapes. Just check it out. Get online too. That's the best. And don't take one guy's opinion. You know, like what I'm telling you now is good for my 2 dragons, but it may not be good for yours. So get all kinds of feedback from as many people as you can, and don't let anyone tell you that what you do is wrong, because it's your pet. You know what I mean? And you know, as long as you're not neglecting it, then I feel you're doing your responsibility as a herper. So keep strong, everyone that loves the bearded dragons and wants to see fatties produced like this all the time, so they're nice and healthy. And just give me a shout. Let me know what you guys think. Alright? Faxed out.